this video, I'm going to talk about my process of the current pieces I've been making for Cadette Jewelry. So to give you a little bit of a background story, the beginnings of Cadette Jewelry mainly involved me crafting pieces in a fabrication process where I mainly used sheet metal or wire metal, where I kind of manipulated the wire or sawed out specific shapes with the sheet metal to create my finished pieces. In the past few months, I've actually been using a different technique called lost wax casting. And that's where I hand carve a piece out of wax initially for any shape or form that I desire. And I then bring that wax form to a caster who then converts that piece into sterling silver. When I retrieve it back, it still involves a very thorough cleaning, polishing, finishing process, which I'm going to take you through today. So these are specifically the pieces I'm going to be working on today. They're two beautiful earrings. And there's quite a bit of work to be done here. As you can see, there's still a lot of the leftovers from the sprues that I need to saw off. So I'm done filing now, where I think that most of the silver is all even in terms of the leveling from the imperfections from the wax mold. And so the next step would be sandpapering, and this happens in stages as well, where you use various levels of sandpaper in a specific order to remove first the foul marks and then remove the marks created by each of the grits. Obviously, you start off with the strongest grit, which for me would be, I believe, a 220 is what I start off with. Then I move on to 320, which removes the marks that the 220 created. And then usually my last one would be the 400. Sometimes I take it to 600. So now I'm soldering. This is where all the heat actually takes place. I'm going to be soldering the ear pick, this little guy, onto the actual earring. This protects the silver as much as it can from the heat, because applying heat really can alter the silver and get it quite heated and discolored quite a bit. So that protects it as much as possible. So this is exactly where I want the solder to flow. I got the pick to successfully solder onto the main base area. As you can see, it's very rough, but this is the reality behind jewelry making. Your beautiful jewelry really just starts at this very rough state. So what I did so far is use sandpaper, as well as a mix of various tools actually that I use to clean, and it makes the cleaning process a little bit easier, so I use that when I can. So I'm pretty much at the final stage of the earring that I've been cleaning up, and that is the buffing stage. So that's bringing it that mirror finish and super shiny finish, if that's what you desire, and that's truly what I desire for these earrings in particular. So there's two things I'm going to be using. This is called Gray Star and this is called Rouge, and I use both of them. I'm going to use the gray first. Now the product is transferred onto the brush, and I'm going to literally buff it into the metal. And now I'm just applying the rouge. So this is the final state for the earring on the left side. The right side obviously needs for me to replicate that exact same process, but yeah, this is this point where I'm actually usually left speechless, because it's just so beautiful once you get to the end and you can kind of see the grueling steps it took to get there.